Fertile farmland is under siege, not from drought or weather, but from an unstoppable wild boar invasion that tears through crops with brutal efficiency. Across rural America, farmers describe the same nightmare: herds of wild pigs charging into fields, flattening corn, ripping up soybeans, devouring fruits, and causing millions of dollars in crop damage in just one night. The devastation is relentless, and the response must be faster than the destruction. At the heart of this crisis are seasoned hunters and farmers who have turned their plows into weapons of defense, creating a front line against the wild boar crisis that threatens food security and livelihoods. These are not ordinary animals. Wild boars are highly intelligent, fast-breeding, and cunning, learning from every trap, every fence, and every failed attempt to stop them. Once seen as isolated incidents, the wild pig problem has now grown into one of the greatest agricultural crises of our time. Farmers recall nights when headlights sweep over their fields and reveal dozens of glowing eyes, entire sounders of wild hogs advancing like an army. The destruction is swift, leaving behind shredded irrigation pipes, overturned soil, and ruined harvests. A single sounder can wipe out the work of an entire season, and with each year, their population multiplies, making the battle for farmland survival even more urgent. Hunters gather before dawn with maps spread across wooden tables, radios strapped to their vests, and rifles checked with ritual precision. This is not a sport, but a mission of community defense, a battle for the land, for agriculture, and for survival. They move quietly through the fields in pairs, setting traps, deploying sound deterrents, and marking trails. The wild boars, however, are no ordinary opponents. They are survivors, highly adaptive and guided by hunger. A matriarch leads her group with sharp intelligence, shielding her piglets and circling traps with uncanny caution. Farmers describe the eerie silence before a charge, the sudden eruption of tusks and hooves, and the terrifying realization that the wild pigs are learning faster than expected. The struggle is not only physical, but economic. Each ruined crop represents lost income, rising debt, and a widening threat to food supply chains. In town meetings, farmers and officials clash over solutions. Some demand aggressive predator control and lethal eradication, while others push for humane wildlife management, sterilization programs, and relocation to state-managed preserves. This conflict mirrors a larger debate about ecosystem balance. How do we protect farmland without destroying nature? Wildlife officials warn that wild boars are not just pests, but ecological disruptors. They tear up soil, destroy native vegetation, pollute water sources, and push out native species. Left unchecked, they alter entire ecosystems. Farmers know the stakes. Without action, the wild pig population will continue to explode, doubling every few years. In one valley, the crisis escalates when a herd of wild hogs ventures dangerously close to a school, spooking livestock and threatening children. That moment shatters the community's patience and sparks an all-out mobilization. Hunters, farmers, and wildlife officers launch coordinated operations using traps, tranquilizer darts, and night patrols. Drones equipped with infrared cameras scan the fields, while veterans veterinarians assist in sterilization efforts. It becomes clear that this fight is not just about crops, but about reclaiming balance between humans and nature. But the threat takes an even darker turn when evidence of poaching emerges. Hidden snares, cruel wire traps, and an illegal trade in wild boar meat are discovered in abandoned sheds. Someone has been profiting from the chaos, fueling the crisis for money. When the community uncovers the black market trade, it shifts the narrative. This is not only an ecological and agricultural battle, but also a fight against exploitation. Court cases follow, poachers are prosecuted, and the valley realizes that solving the wild pig problem requires more than hunting. It demands accountability, law enforcement, and cooperation. Slowly, new strategies emerge. Farmers install motion sensor lights around fields, carpenters craft reinforced gates, and children are taught safety precautions to avoid wild pig encounters. Veterinarians volunteer to help with sterilization and relocation programs. State wildlife agencies partner with local communities to fund crop loss relief and implement ecosystem recovery programs. The fight is exhausting, but for the first time, there is a sense of progress. Farmers still wake to broken fences and damaged soil, but fewer herds roam unchecked, and boar numbers begin to stabilize. The hunters know it is not a final victory. Nature never fully surrenders, but it is a turning point. The wild boar crisis is a mirror of modern challenges: food security under threat, ecosystems out of balance, and communities forced to adapt in the face of relentless change. For farmers, every acre of land is a battlefield where agriculture collides with wildlife survival. For hunters, every patrol is a reminder that defending the land requires resilience and sacrifice. And for the community, every decision carries moral weight: what lives, what dies, and how humanity coexists with the wild. As one old farmer puts it, you can't fight a thing that grows overnight and expect to sleep. You either change or you lose what you love. That truth resonates across farmlands everywhere. The battle with wild boars is not just about protecting crops, but about defining the future of agriculture, wildlife management, and human survival in an ever-changing landscape. The wild pigs may retreat into the woods, but their presence lingers, reminding us that survival is always a negotiation between hunger and harvest, between man and nature, between destruction and balance.